you mind if I ask who's on the committee? Or who's on the board?
So I'm Bill Bennett.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Jay.
Hi Jay, how you doing?
Bob Root. Hi, good to meet you.
Hello.
And we did have you distributed the minutes. The only thing on the minute that we had a Zoom meeting to reorganize the board, and it's Bob is vice chair, not co-chair. So-
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
we'll just make that-
We'll make that change.
Yeah.
What we could probably do is just pick one of them, and as you sign it, just, you could initially decide.
I think they got stuck in the original. Been going on for a while, but got stuck in the email. but
Yeah,
the
because
text.
that's what I probably did.
The template.
anyway. Yeah, so,
And was there on the, okay, so we've got the Tuesday,
this is the April
April 22nd.
board meeting.
Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold.
Okay,
Tested negative for COVID, so it's nothing, nothing bad, but, so apologize for that. Okay, so the, Tuesday, April 22nd meeting minutes, does anybody have any,
I did not see anything.
any issues with those? Got a motion to approve the April 22nd, 2025 minutes?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? I'll sign my copy and pass it around. Okay, so then the May 5th, 2025 minute, we'll just change vice. It's the vice. All right, any comments on the 2025 minutes other than that? Motion to accept the May 5th, 2025 minutes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. We have May 27th minutes.
Well, actually, this one should also say, put me as the vice chair. Oh, no, I'm sorry, no. Sorry. Oh,
and that's the fix that goes along the way.
Okay. Any comments on that? Motion to accept the May 27th, 2025 minutes?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Before, I just want to make sure that we recognize Curtis and Barbara for filling in Charlie's absence. I think they did a fabulous job.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Carrying the extra weight.
Yes, team effort.
Yeah.
So
And Andy was working on the pickups at the same time, so that was two right there.
So they're also
Correct.
good to have Charlie back.
yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Wrap
You
his-
sure?
Yeah, wrap your bubble wrap.
Again,
Well, yeah, that's right.
But anyway, so, all right, I'm gonna, we've got all the minutes and then, I'm gonna hand over the reevaluation results to you, Charlie.
Okay, sure. So, the first thing we have here is the LA4 comparison. That's gonna be this one here.
it's gonna be a 27.
Yep. And basically what this is gonna give you is, for instance, if you look at 101, which is up on the top here, you'll see that it says single family. And what it's doing is it's basically giving you last year's single family total to this year's single family total. So you'll see that we went up 5.1% on the residentials. And then for condominiums, which is 102, it's the one right below it. That's the one that might catch your eye a little bit, but we also have Curtis to thank for that one, because what happened there, if you look at the parcel difference, which is right here, there's 56 extra condos.
right.
So he picked up 56 extra condos, which is why the value is 11% as opposed to 5 or 6% in that case.
Right, and that was mainly due to the completion of the Ice House project.
Oh, okay.
So we
Yep.
managed to pick all those up and it was completed before June 30th.
How do we lose 3 houses in a year, single family?
Some of the single families got knocked down to be rebuilt.
Okay,
And Curtis may have caught them
yeah.
just when they were knocked
So
down.
no new net houses in
Um,
a year.
There are some, so you got the 56 condos.
Yep.
That would be net.
Yep.
Multifamily, they're down 4, but those go to the condos as well. So it's basically 2 families that are now 8 condos
Right.
in that case there.
So the -3 for the singles is probably they were torn down,
Correct.
but nothing's there. They'll be back on next year because June 3rd, there'll be something there by June 3rd.
But it's fascinating when you
Yes,
want some
right.
undeveloped lots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no house were built, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing.
Well, technically you picked up some new houses.
Right. But with those mostly demos and then a complete rebuild. So it was already there. They just knocked the house down completely and just built a new home from
I
ground
think
up.
of Fletcher Steel, there was an undeveloped lot.
Right.
The house was built on, that's one of, probably half dozen or something.
Right.
But again, maybe they were there before June 30th. They might have been on the one last year's.
If you go to the 300s, over here on the left-hand side, those would be the commercials. And you'll see that the commercial ended up growing one parcel and they went up 4.2%.
We got the ice house too.
I could actually.
They have 2
Right.
commercials in that case, so. And then industrials really haven't changed, very generic there. And really the rest is, multi-use and things like that are in here. So we did have a few things that were lost there. And then the 500s are personal property.
523.4 million increase in assessed value.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Considering, no new houses, I mean, just condos and,
There was a significant amount because how many new condos did you pick up in Walcott Woods, which are pretty expensive as well?
Correct.
So there was 52 in the ice house,
Right.
minus 2 that are commercial,
Correct.
right? And
Right.
then whatever else was built on Walcott
Walker
Woods,
Woods as
and they
well.
were selling for about 1.8 million.
still, that's only 39 million. It's the 377 million of existing houses going up.
Well, that's.
Yeah. Now, last year, because of all the work that was done in the interior,
Mhm.
the sales went up,
Mhm.
but some of the extra parcels didn't because a lot of people did their house over without taking out a building permit. So, but the 5%'s catching up at that point. So, and we're trying to bring the land up more, just to bring that up. So, any questions on the LA4? Oh, by the way, down here, you'll see some comments. We went through this kind of in extreme depth with the Department of Revenue. And so he made us, put down all the notes and everything else as well. So you'll see that, land use code 102, 52 new units, that would be the ice house there. Then a few notes just on the 103s and 109s. We also obviously got some new apartments as well. Not that they were totally there, but they're starting up anyway, so.
Right.
And I think there was a town taking, which is why there's one less town-owned property. I do have some specific things in here as well. We'll get to those in just a minute. Did we lose one of these? One of the sales, because we only have 2 right now.
Of the signed minutes.
Signed minutes.
We both have 3.
Oh, I'm gonna find it.
There we go.
Right.
That's all right.
I thought it was your mom. I flipped it over.
Yeah. So basically that was the LA4 that we just talked about here. Does that, are there any other questions? And just to let you know, I'm also going to go over the LA13, which is the growth. That's a somewhat short listing here, but you'll see that the growth value is 1,499,207. So that'll be down here. And the only difference really out of this at all would be the fact that you've got residential growth, which is at 1109, and then you have commercial growth, which is the 1693. And then down here in the bottom corner, you'll see that we got 1,499,207. So that's extra money that's going into the town coffers outside of Proposition 2.5.
What were we last year, do you remember?
1.2, I do believe. Yep. So it's been, they increased it to $1 million, just trying to get to that amount. And, you know, Curtis really did the work. And, but you know, like when you think of it, the whole ice house came up right away, and there's 52 units. And, you know, obviously they started the work over on East Milton Square.
Yeah.
Right. Plus we had a lot of starts really behind the,
Fort Franklin, right? 728 Randolph, and also 711 Randolph as well.
Yeah, and it looks like that's going to happen next year as well.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
So we should be fine with New Grove going forward with those rentals being built.
The 7-Eleven Randolph, those are all apartments, right? Is it the Holland Development one?
Yes, those are going to be right.
Okay, and then the one across the street by the animal shelter. That's a 40B development, but they're like condos, I think.
Yes, yeah. And that was the one that they were going to do, and then they decided not to do it. Then they put the animal sanctuary up there as well. And but people are going to have a hard time getting out.
It's going to be interesting.
Well, there's a light now. I mean,
right.
I park in the animal shelter to walk my dog on the golf course at night. It's wonderful.
Oh, you do it at
Okay.
night? Okay, yeah.
So, weekends and mornings sometimes.
Right, so just whether or not it's going to be difficult in the morning.
Amazingly, for pedestrians, it's better. So when you're walking on the sidewalk, you don't feel like you're going to get sucked in with the vortex of the car going 60 miles an hour. And we hit there are crosswalks now. We hit the light signal. It's 10 or 15 seconds, and it changes. It used to be hit the light, and it might not change.
Yeah, and people like
now.
Yeah,
Sensor light.
Right. So it's great for pedestrians and dog walkers.
That's good though.
Hours at work.
Yeah, exactly. So, any questions at all on the LA13? We do have, you know, a list of the parcels as well. All that's been uploaded to the Department of Revenue, so they have all that. And then what I wanted to give you here is two different reports. This is the assess the sales ratio. So it's basically our values versus the sales prices. And it's by, this one's by building style. So this is the one that has the multi-conversion at the top. And basically what you want to look at is right here. So for instance, multi-conversions are at 97%. And typically the best thing for the, you know, how close we are to a fit is the coefficient of dispersion. So that's like the third one over on the second line, and that's 1.577. So that one's a tight fit, but there's only two. Next up, you get the multi-gardens. So they would be, you know, basically multi-family parcel. And for that, we have 10 sales. They're at 92%. And our COD there is 5.34. And I think we got into talking about this last year. Then at the bottom of that, you'll see multi-townhouse, which then goes over here. Sorry that I couldn't print these a little better, but they come in upside down. So the multi-townhouse is only one, at 98%, 0 COD. And then we have our old style, which would be kind of like the colonials, but the old version of colonials in that case there. And old style has 33 sales. We're at a 94% and a coefficient of 6.166. All this has already been approved by the Department of Revenue here. So again, you can go with split entries. That one's a little bit low, 0.873, just because there is one sale that we just couldn't get to, but you're not really supposed to chase sales, so they understood that. Split entries, so that's 87% with 11.985. It should be under 10, but they understood because there was one sale that just was ridiculous. So group 19 are ranches. And again, I apologize for the way these flip over. The ranches are 96%, coefficient of dispersion of 7.218. And then we get bungalows, and we have 6 bungalows, 91% with a 5.95% coefficient of dispersion. Split levels, we have 10 of those, 92%. So I'm on page 5 of 15 right now. They're at not just about 92% coefficient of dispersion of 6.774. Sorry to be moving so quickly. We normally don't have this little of time. Conventionals, again, we only have 2 sales there, and we did have a strange sale that we couldn't get to, but the conventionals are at 85% with a 2.647 COD. And we did actually have some commercial sales. So the repair garage, which is 18 Central Ave, so it'd be right across the street from the new condominium.
Right. Wasn't that the one that was last year? Wasn't that on there last year?
These are actually 2024 sales. So that's the reason why. So things that we saw, I think we would use them to see if we could get like a cap rate or whatever.
Yeah, because I know it was on there last year. And
Yeah.
I was like, it was, we're trying to figure that out.
Yeah. So yeah, that one sold for 500,000. We have 498.8 on there. And Curtis had to split that because it was 10 and 18, and so we had to break it up into 2 different parcels. We have Capes, and the Capes have 15 sales, and it's a 96 ratio with a 6.155 COD. So the coefficient of dispersion, we're always trying to keep it below 10. You could really go higher in the multifamilies and all that, but we found that we really didn't have to. Colonials, which again, we're going to have the most sales. So we have a couple of pages worth, and I'm on page 11 and 15. And you'll see that we're at 94% with a 7.22 COD. Then we do have 1 office condo. And again, that's at 98%, and obviously nothing for the COD. Then we have condo gardens. So you'll see these are Elliott Street sales. So these would be resales at this point here. 131 Elliott Street. So it's group 7. I'm on page 11 of 15. And really the only reason that they're falling in like this is they're named condo garden styles. So you'll see that there's also Woodmere Drive in here, as long as Milton Street as well. And that's because we're doing it by style, not by development in that case there. So again, we're at 94% with a 4.298 COD.
So 131 Elliott, you think those are sold, somebody bought them and then sold them, or that the first time sale?
I think some of these are resales, and some are new sales as well.
I didn't think that, I remember like 2 years ago or last year that there was an abatement.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
That's a lot of resales.
Yeah. Not all. There's some in here. So we had an office building, which would be group 71 on page 12 of 15. But the way they marketed the property, they marketed it as a colonial. So we had it as an office because it was being used as an office. And, we're gonna change it. We just can't change it until, beginning of the year.
Is it gonna go back to be a house?
It's going back to be a house. And, it always looked like a house, to be honest with you. So it wasn't really a good condo sale in that case. And then we do have a few stores. That's Group 78, bottom of page 12. So you'll see 588 Randolph, 10 Central Ave, which did go with 18 Central Ave, and then 133 Brook Road, which would be the Milton Food Mart. So they all sold. And again, you'll see there that we're at a little higher. We're 105 with a 3.522. And really the reason is 10 Central Ave and 133 Brook were a little bit high on it, but they were also 2024 sales. And I think
Our valuation was a little high.
we're a little bit high, but they did send in, the woman that sold them, I think, kept the rents low. She got them from the husband and they sent in higher rents. So we applied them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different things.
Yeah, exactly. So,
What property is 588 Randolph? I can't remember where that is.
588 is, unfortunately, we would show you on this map here.
Is that down by Milton Academy or is it the other direction? Wait, 7-Eleven is where the, is it by the 7-Eleven? Is that where?
I believe it is, yes. And it's, because the 7-Eleven corner also sold for
Dental office in there.
the dental, and the 7-Eleven also sold, I think, for 1.4 million.
Oh,
And I got a call today that the place across the street, they may just close the business down and put the property up for sale. The hospice, yeah. And I didn't get a call from them. I got a call from, do you remember what the name of the company was?
No,
It's a big real estate company. They called from DC.
Because it's not performing or something?
It sounded almost like they just didn't want to keep it running. Like, the person I spoke to was a woman, I'm saying he.
Yeah.
But she hadn't spoken to the owners, so I don't know if they were trying to fish us for information. And she was kind of saying like, oh, any idea what the rents are? I can't tell her what the rents are because if they send a rent in to us, that's kept with us.
That's private.
Right.
It's all private. And then she was asking me, and she didn't even know across the street sold for 1.4 million. So
Yeah,
I
but
did
it's
give her
totally
that.
different.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But then she was asking me, well, could that, unit become commercial or whatever else? And I think she spoke to Nick beforehand, and Nick made it sound like it's going to stay the way it is. But I said, you never know, the town could try to make some more commercial or something like that. But, that's this person in doing their appraisal is not going to change
She was
anything.
doing the appraisal.
Yeah, they're not the representatives of the building or anything like that, so. And then you'll see we have condo townhouses as well. Most of these, I think, are Walcott Woods. And again, you'll see some of the sales here, 1.3, 1.8, 1.575. So they went for some good money. And Curtis took good care of that whole grouping all the way through.
All right.
We're at 97% there with a 3.512 COD. That's pretty low for picking up all those condos, but they're cookie cutter to a certain extent. The only thing that might have happened is maybe the work product went downhill as we looked at some of the
Right.
older ones, but that's still to be figured out. So
Right.
Contemporary, we just have one contemporary property there. You'll see that's Group 9. And then Group 99 are condo conversions. And that list is just going to keep growing, especially if people have 40Bs. So if you think about it, the condo townhouses, which are selling for 1.8 million, all they had to do was buy a 2-family and make that into 2 condos rather than sell something from the unit itself. So that's 92.5%. with a 4.54 COD. So that's the building type. And typically you might say, well, what's the next change? And that would be, well, neighborhood. So I chose neighborhood as the other choice. So neighborhood 4, which has 23 sales in it. You'll see it's a 93% median with a 7.057 COD. Group 5, which again would really be neighborhood 5, is 38 sales, and that's a 93.8 median with a 7.759 COD. And group 6, which would be neighborhood 6, I think is a little bit bigger. Neighborhood 6 is become neighborhood 5. This is kind of what's happening, And this has a 93% median with a 5.78 coefficient of dispersion. And then we have neighborhood 7. And that I think has a decent amount of sales as well. Everything's starting to get a little nicer, as people are doing things over, etc. So neighborhood 7's at 95% with a 6.737 coefficient of dispersion. And then group 8, which would be neighborhood 8, is 95% with an 8.185 coefficient of dispersion. And, if sometimes you'll wonder, like, why is that? But you might see a 116 at the end or a low one on the beginning, because it does break it out by the coefficient of dispersion, by the ratios themselves. And then group 9, we have neighborhood 9, 15 sales, 93.4% with a 7.24 coefficient of dispersion. And then these other ones that start to break out here are these are the condo complexes. So you'll see that, like Brush Hill here, which would be 333 Brush Hill, just has the one sale. We're at 96% for that one there. Then we have some that are going to be different. They're condo ones, but they're in different units. So there's Otis and Church Place. You'll see it an 86.8. I think those are the ones that aren't in terrific condition.
Right.
And with a 7.426 coefficient of dispersion. Then condo 2 was starting to get into the Blue Hills Parkway here. So, and this one's because it's commercial? It would be that one.
This one right here.
This one here, actually. 220. That's probably just a split.
I believe it's just a split.
Okay.
Yes.
And 120 to 122 granted as well. So
Definitely yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are splits.
So actually, you and I might have visited that property.
Oh yes, 120.
Yeah.
122.
93%, and that's got a 2.439 COD, but it's only got 5 sales. So in that case, it's a bit closer. Condo 3, so that'd be Adams Street, Decker Street, High Street, and Artwell. Those are 90% with a 5.902 COD. Then we do get some more commercials here. So we got 11 High Street, 588 Randolph Ave, and 139 Brook Road, 133, excuse me. So those are in as commercial average for the neighborhood, 96% with a 4.273 COD. And when we have a commercial good, so we have 1 Central Ave, Unit B, which would be
underneath
133 Elliott Street on the first floor.
Right.
Yeah, and the second one sold, but not in time. Is that right?
Well, the second one, I believe the original owner owns it. He is renting it out to a hairdresser, so that's being leased.
Yeah.
And then B was purchased by Vibrant Realty, I believe.
Yeah. And then 18 and 10 Central Ave, which we mentioned before, which are in the commercial good too, so they're in the square right there. And then Henry's, again, you'll see all the sales that are there. So Henry's is its own neighborhood in that case. So those are all listed out again. And then really you just have some various ones here. So you've got, 175 Milton Streets, 97% with a 9.38 CO3. One Quissit. I think there's another one coming up, right? Like next door or something.
Right, wouldn't there?
Yeah, so we're just a little bit high in that. We're 1.01 because there was another sale that's going to come up next year that was higher. So we did use that. Woodmere, again, basically we've got just the two, I think, right? Yeah,
Yes,
just the
just the two.
And it's a little bit of a split on that. And then we have Walcott Woods again. So by going by, neighborhood instead, you're seeing it a little bit different in that case. So Walcott Woods, again, 97% with a 2.913. Did all that in a half hour. So obviously questions or anything would be welcome. We were going to try to show you from our laptop, but it didn't seem to want to work out for us. And I think we talked a bit about this in the past, so you guys somewhat knew what was coming down the road here. What ended up happening is the Department of Revenue, even though you folks could sign the LA4 and the LA13, he signed them and locked it. So in other words, he okayed it, but I said, we can't truly okay it until the board signs off. And he agreed with me. And he said he would open it up if he felt like, if there were changes or anything like that. But it looks like we're good. So, unless you have any questions or anything like that. So, if we have time, we could look quick at the solar exemption. Totally up to yourself. So this actually came from the Mass Assessors Association, and basically all they're saying here is that in a publicly duly posted meeting, this motion was made, and we don't pick up residential solar facilities. If you guys want to take some time and look at that, that's fine. We can deal with that on the next meeting instead.
That's the Mass Assessors Association sent.
They're the ones that sent it out, actually, yes. So
What is in DOR? What are they saying?
DOR did not send this out, but I guess the Division of Local Services asked the MAAO if they would send this out to all of the people so that they would sign it. And no one has picked up residential solar, at all. And last year we got
As a personal property or something?
yeah, whatever it might be. It's never been picked up.
Right.
So one of the larger management companies sent an abatement to every city in town last year. So for a short period of time, that would have been on our abatement list.
Then in case someone decided to tax it or something?
Well, I think they didn't even know. And so, yeah, it was a bit of a search in that sense too. And then,
You're saying a management company is one of those companies that will install solar in your house?
oh, no, this would be like, I should have brought a
Property
copy.
management firm or something?
No, actually, one of the business management firms sent it out. Who do we typically get?
Is that the one that was referenced in the email from Mass Assessors?
I don't think
There
there
was a
was
company
mentioned in there, was there?
Right.
It's like KMPGs.
Yeah, that's what KPMG.
Right.
That's like an account.
Yes,
Okay,
right,
yeah,
right.
KPM, yeah.
They've turned now, I think, from the big It used to be the Big Eight when I went to Babson, so, but basically, they sent it,
For like a class action suit or something?
well, they sent them all out, but then the MAAO board met with them and they took them all back. But then the DLS felt as if this solar exemption should be voted on by the boards and, you know, returned to the
There's
MAAO.
been no directive or guidance from the DOR.
No, but nobody does do it, so
Nobody taxes them.
nobody taxes it, correct?
So
Yeah.
again, the only issue I would have is that, again, if you don't own the solar panels, if they're leased from the company that puts them on, then they're not considered part of the real estate. So
Right.
you wouldn't be entitled to the exemption if there was an exemption,
Yeah,
unless it was a personal property exemption. But
Right.
you don't own those solar panels.
Yep.
In order for them to be included as part of the real estate, you have to buy them from the solar company.
got it.
Because if you sell the house or you refinance your house, the bank, the lender is not allowed to have the appraiser value those solar panels because they're not part of the real estate.
Got it.
The GSEs don't allow them, they have to be owned in order to be included. Part of the real
Got it,
estate. So
yeah.
that would be the only issue if it came down from an exemption.
Sure.
Not taxing any solar, any
Right.
attached to a house would, I mean, because that's a sticky thing. What happens if you don't own it? Well, say I own mine, right? I bought them and you don't own yours, so really you shouldn't be taxed on yours, right?
No, shouldn't get the exemption. If you own them, that's part of your real estate, so you can
That's
get
an
the
exemption
exemption.
on your taxes.
On your taxes.
Not-
I don't own them.
Not your property taxes.
They're leased, the company owns them, Bob owns them, Bob owns the company that put them on. I'm paying Bob, just like buying a leased car, I'm paying a lease fee every month to Bob's company to lease those solar panels.
But you're getting free electricity, which compensates that.
But you don't own them, they could come, you don't pay the lease, they can go back and take them off. So it's like, you don't pay the lease on the car, they come and possess the car.
So should we be taxing Bob?
I would agree with that.
I'm just saying, you have to be, again, if you don't own them, there shouldn't be an exemption involved. But we're not taxing them anyway, so it really
Correct.
kind of is a moot point.
Yeah, and that's really what this says, but, you know, because, you know, you saw it, but you didn't really get a chance to, you know, ask questions. If you wanna send me the questions, I can get answers. And I know one of them would
The
just
question
be,
is, why are we going through this exercise?
literally because the Division of Local Services just asked us to formalize it.
Formalize that
The
we're,
Assessors Association, it seems like it's.
Yeah,
I think the DOR would add some sort of input. on this.
we're formalizing that. Well, the abatement is requested for something we don't tax.
the abatement got taken back.
Okay.
What they're hoping is that we just formalize the fact that we don't pick up.
That they're all
solar
exempt,
panels.
everybody's exempt.
Yeah.
Can
Yes.
you get your buddy at DOR rep to sign off on that request? I don't
Pete
know.
McCarthy,
I
yeah,
don't know, I mean.
yeah,
I mean,
It
would
is
think that
strange.
The DOR would want to have some input into that.
yeah. Well,
It seems like somebody circumvented.
I think they
something.
did it through the Division of Local Services because they're really kind of the same group. But
No, but the request came from the Assessors Association.
MAAO is the one that sent it out, yeah. Probably, I would guess more than anything, even though the DLS could easily give us the same information, they probably figured that the MAAO has the, everyone's, you know, emails. That would be my guess, so, but I could find that out for you and, get that information, so.
Just seems like some kind of backdoor exercise.
It just seems odd.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
And if the exemption's only for 20 years, what happens 20 years down the road? Not that we'll be here, but what happens?
I mean, it seems like it could just come back and bite us.
It could be here.
It could.
Odds are. Okay.
I think I'd ask, what's his name, McCarthy? at the
Steve
Department of
McCarthy,
Revenue.
yeah. Well, actually, I'll call the head of the MAAO.
I'd go to him first. I'd go to the DOR first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before let's get a little, we already know what the MAO says.
We know what they're going.
We know what they're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
fine.
Let's-
Yeah.
So why?
Steve, you know, whenever you ask your DOR rep, he might be like, well, you have a list of every one of the parcels that has it on there? No. well, you really should before we sign off on it. And we don't need it really, but it's, you always get into a little trouble, but I'm happy to call Steve, so that's not a problem.
Ask him.
I only ran this by a guy who's an assessor down Sandwich, and they were going through the same thing, that, well, what if, again, if they're not owned, they're leased, blah, blah, blah. So I think maybe other assessing offices are having the same questions that.
Oh, they sent it to everyone.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that this guy in Sandwich had the same questions we did. What if, because he's an appraiser as well, he's like, what if we don't own, but if they're not owned, what if they're leased, blah, blah, blah. So
Right.
I think they're.
Okay, no, I'd be happy to, I'll give Steve a call
We
tomorrow.
need a little more investigation.
And it seems like one of those loopholes where remember you used to be able to buy stuff on Amazon and it was tax free, if it was out of state, because they
Right.
weren't.
Yeah,
They
would estimate the tax, but you'd never have to pay it or whatever, so,
And then they instituted and everyone.
yeah,
So
they
maybe
tightened it up.
we're gonna start taxing solar panels because it's personal property and it's.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I could find out anyway, because he answers his phone pretty quick too, so, and I'll put it into the write-up here, so.
Yeah, and then if we can vote on it, we can go over in more in depth the next time, or we can vote on it the next time, but I think we need.
That's fine. And then,
One,
yeah,
on an exemption, it'd be a blanket exemption for 20 years for someone who has solar panels on it,
yeah, it's obviously was a strange one, but I think it did have to do with, Pete Marwick Mitchell, whatever they were before,
I had to read the email 3 or 4 times to really kind of get into it.
Yeah.
Because it did say something about the people that leased them, so there was a mention about leasing in there, but it didn't say whether the owners were leasing them or the company was leasing them to somebody. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a little.
Yeah, we got one, and then not long after that, a bunch of emails came out from MAAO, basically saying our people are taking care of this, and they all got taken back anyway. They sent in, letters to all of us saying, you know what, never mind. And so we got to take that out. So.
Something weird, when no one's being taxed on them anyways, and these companies are kind of pay.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Marwick might have thought they just jumped on something that'll get a lot of money back or whatever, but strange that they said that, to be honest with you.
Unless it started in another state, maybe some states do, tax them, I don't know. But
Yeah, I'm sure the
they came
states.
here, they're
Yeah,
taxing them there, they're taxing them there, we'll just. For the bait.
Just objection from
Yeah.
state, not from the Assessors Association.
yeah, that's fine. No, I'm happy to call the DOR, and maybe we'll even call the head of the DOR to really find out what's going on. Yeah. Okay. And then we did have the HERO Act on the list as well. Would have to do a PowerPoint and all there, but basically what's happening with the HERO Act is it's for the veterans. I think we went through the same PowerPoint last year, but it didn't make it onto the town vote. Yeah, the select board, it never got before them because I think Nick, the previous, not Nick Milano, but Nick Connors, was so busy he wasn't able to work it on there.
So, so what, I think I looked at the presentation, and what it doubles the veterans exemption.
You can double and these are choices that the town can make. So you have the choice to double the exemption. That's probably historical, yeah. You have a choice to double the exemption.
And what's that do?
So $1,000 is the highest right now for 100%.
So it'd be $2,200.
Yeah. If you wanted to call it up, Curtis, it's on the LN4 there.
But only
three.
portion of that is reimbursed by the state, right? That whole thing is.
They don't necessarily reimburse us, so if we double the exemption, we would still only get the 1,000.
Right. That's what I mean. The state only reimburses.
I'm saying that in
$1,000.
on HERO Act.
So the town would have to fund that other $1,000. Just like the senior thing that was passed at town meeting. That's not covered by anything. So the town is responsible for paying. Yes, everyone else.
Maybe start PowerPoint.
I just stop right
Yeah.
at the top right
We're
now.
not connected to the network there.
Right. Just say no access to the truck.
Everything's happened to us there. We couldn't connect to the town network.
Right.
But yeah, there's a list there, and I think I kind of made it available, but, yeah, the biggest thing would be that would happen. But do you remember last year I told you that, there was a kid that came in, he was like an earnest young kid, and he came in 2 different towns. And, you know, we never got it on there. I kind of worked on it myself.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know how many, and just
I think it was like, we have the count.
how many veterans we have and what's the dollar impact?
Yeah, Curtis, if you scroll down.
Yeah.
Right there. So there's 88 22s and 32 22Es. So the 22s are 35,200, the 22Es come out to 31,200. And last year they did increase some exemptions for they tried to do some things for the veterans, but they didn't really get to this.
Right.
And
So
we've been
that's
hearing,
$66,400 or whatever. How much is covered by the state?
now the state would not increase any of
The 66, this.
so it would be basically 1,000 each for those. I think the 22Es are less. Are they in the 800 range or something like that? Or,
But the 22Es, the exemption amount.
yeah,
So 22Es are 1,000, and the 22s are 400
400.
as of now, right?
Okay, so the HEROES Act ups the $1,000 people in this 32 of them.
Yep. More people could come out, and we do have a new veterans agent.
Yes.
So we could get more applications with a new person.
And he said, Alex Ortiz, the new veterans agent, so he stopped by, and I know me and Barbara was in the office, and he said that he's obviously reaching out, trying to making it more aware that vets have this exemption available. So he did say that he knows individuals that's going to file, so we'll probably more than likely see an uptake in terms of 22s coming in this year. According to him, he said we have over 1,200 veterans. I'm not sure if he said they was actually 10% disabled, but I mean, our number is relatively low. I mean, 88, I believe 22s and 32 22Es, so we'll definitely see an increase,
And
which is expected, right?
exactly
Right.
So,
And I do know the Legion Hall there on Granite Ave, they really put a push on to get new members. So I
Right.
think you
Yeah.
could,
Right.
you might see some of the guys that Mr. Ortiz is talking about.
Okay, right.
It's not like you have the elderly center where people meet up and know more about it. You know, the veterans a lot of times are on their own. But this young kid went and saw his rep, and his rep went and talked to Richard, and he's, I think, put it before the select board, because Nick even called me and said, you know, how did this happen? I'm hearing so much about it. And I said, I think this kid got a lot of stuff moving.
Well, I think a lot of other towns are starting to vote pass it too. A lot haven't passed it, but a lot of towns are starting to pass it.
Has it been passed and adopted by Milton now or not?
No, I think they're going to vote in May,
Yeah.
next May. That's what
So Nick said, why don't you get, the board to vote on it first? So
We don't have to vote on it. I mean, they vote on it. That has nothing to do. We just have to make sure it's enacted here and we have all the stuff ready to go.
exactly.
Right.
But it's not a vote for us.
Because it would be
It's a
our
vote for the
work,
select board.
right. So, and we talked about it last year as well, so it just didn't go through at the time, so.
I think they had so many other things going on between school override and everything. I think
Yeah,
it just got lost in
The kid, he came in again, but he wasn't smiling like he was before. But I explained what happened to the town, and he understood, and got it going from there. So okay, yeah. I was just like 7:45 would be great, 6:45. Yeah. So we could run through this quick if you want to see it.
This is what you sent out?
Yeah, that's what we sent out, or if you guys want to look at it on your own.
I mean, I don't know if we need to vote on it. We all support the vets.
Yeah,
But it needs to be adopted by the board of selectmen.
right. And I think that's all Nick wanted to make sure that you guys had your say or whatever, and because
Well, I think
Robert
we've been all
Curtis
over,
did
it. We've been
Assessors
talking about it since
a
you
year
and
ago.
Curtis and I, and
Right.
Barbara did the council on aging thing in March.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've been aware of it since back March 2024.
Right.
And then Alex, he did say anyone has anything regarding the Heroes Act, just send it his way. Right, because he's saying like it's on the select board to vote for it.
Yeah.
At the
I
end of the
mean,
day, right?
as long
So-
as we give them the stuff we have, and just
Right.
as long as they know that it's not, the state doesn't reimburse for it, so the town will be responsible for
Right,
Yeah.
right.
covering that, you know, and how they're gonna figure out how to disperse that.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Right. Right.
Well, thanks for your time. And as I say, at this point, you don't have to log on and sign. Right now, the LA4 and the LA13 have been accepted by the state, so there's no need to sign on it. So they went forward with it unless we had changes. So
Motion to adjourn,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.